Well, John Patterson, Bathurst, Hawaii. And I had to practice that 10 times before we got BathurstHawaii.com. And what you've invented and selling, in crowdfunding now is an item that's going to put the federal government out of business for telling time.
Yes.
I go down Massachusetts Ave every day going down to Washington, D.C., and I pass by the government's atomic clock where the atomic clock is, and you're going to give me one of those things to put on my wrist, aren't you?
I got your atomic watch right
What
here, Matthew.
the?
That's it.
Wow! And
That's
so
right. You
that
don't
will.
need the government. We know you don't need the government for something, right? You don't need the government to tell you what time it is.
Time it is. You did it, and you went on Kickstarter and raised like almost $80,000 to put this thing together for people. And to
Yep.
me, what's more amazing is that to actually get the watch, there are people putting up 6 grand, $6,000
I know.
to
We
get
gotta
one.
make those people happy. I think that was. I think we probably had. I think in the end, the average incentive bid or whatever you want to call it was
Right.
around $900 each
Wow.
person, like the total amount divided by the
By
total
the
people,
people.
and that's got to be one of the highest per
Highest.
person
Oh, I would
incentives
think
on
so.
Kickstarter. And then, yeah, I'm not familiar. It's $6,000 incentive to just give someone you've never met $6,000 for something you can't even hold in your hand or see, just based on the video and all that. That's a leap of faith, and I have to say those guys, I appreciate them taking that leap of faith for
Thank you,
sure.
thank you.
I wouldn't trust them as much as they trust me, but I am not. The money is still in the bank. That's a
Yeah,
good thing.
but I mean, you have you've been in the watch business a number of years now, right?
10 years.
And 10 years, wow. So you have credibility in the subject. But I mean, something like this, I'm sure if you went to experts out there, they'd tell you, oh, you can't sell something and get $6,000 for a person,
No.
right? You can't go on a crowdfunding site and do a video for 8, 10 minutes or whatever the heck it is, and you did all those things. You can't do this unless you hire some big PR firm to get
Right,
it out
that's
there.
right. You don't need PR
All
guys.
right.
That's you just need to have authentic feelings, a real story to tell, compelling information, a compelling story, passion for what you do. People can see it,
Yeah.
they can tell whether you're faking it or not. I've seen some Kickstarter guys who I can tell are not they're not legit. Basically, they're not legit.
They're the guys that have to hire the shills to say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, all those videos where it's like shallow focus and the product and then
Right.
there's music and all that. I mean, my people needed. I had to tell them a lot more technical stuff
Yeah.
because I needed to explain to them what we were really doing, not just a bunch of pretty hyperbole and shots of
And there's no
clocks.
skimpy clad women in this thing either.
No, no, no. I remember there was some watch brand had a whole website. It was all about what is the essence of rain. Come on. What is the essence of rain? It's water. Water
But
is the essence of
I
rain.
see there's one thing you did copy the industry with.
What's that?
10 minutes after 10.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I watched it. There's an NPR story about that. Yeah, the
Really?
entire watch
Everybody
industry.
has every watch is 10 after
And
10.
you know why that is? It's because if you set the hands like that, you can read the name of the brand.
Oh, I see. So that's the name of
Exposed
the brand. I see.
and Swiss people are very particular that it's always the same. So it's actually
I see.
10:09 and 38 seconds is what it
Oh,
should
10:09
be.
and 38 seconds.
So,
Well,
and you
well,
have to set your watch, man. When you're one of me, you have to take the battery out right at that moment, to get it stopped, and then put the
the
backpack on and
atomic
reset
watch won't stop.
it. Stop. It goes around a little bit more.
Have to wait another 1,000 years.
So that,
For it
yeah.
gets
So
back.
the we saw basically what I saw was a technology that this chip scale atomic clock. Someone
Uh-huh.
mentioned this to me, who's in the oil and gas and they do oceanography work,
I,
and I'm like, well, could you use this for a watch? You think? And like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just this little chip, and you should look into it. And that's how it all got started. Was just
wow.
me realizing that there was a timekeeping chip that I could use to make a real atomic watch.
But
And
it looks like what you've done on the promotion and everything and the crowdfunding is that you used it with no bad downside can happen because you got by saying you're going to do this atomic clock, everybody started talking about you because you had and you're in the watch business, so it was a marketing promotion too that you could never afford, right?
right, exactly. It was a chance to. Initially, I initially did this not to do a Kickstarter. I initially did this as a sort of a challenge. Can we do this technologically? And then also a little bit of like a thumb in the nose of the really high-end Swiss brands, like, hey guys, why are you sitting on your ass, basically?
Right. Oh, why haven't you done atomic
Why
watch?
aren't you doing this? Right. And then a little bit of fear that maybe, you know what, they'll come back and they'll be like, well, we did do this, so screw you. So there was this about this time last year, man. We were pushing. I think we actually put it on YouTube on like September 27th or something like that, of 2013. So we were trying to establish. Nowadays, I don't care what you've invented until you show people it working on YouTube. That's kind of nowadays
really? That's
the final thing you do, right? You get it working and then you take a video of it. And that's what we did, absolutely.
The Wright brothers. I got in the air. Got that on YouTube.
I mean, if you were going to climb Mount Everest, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, that's what you do. So
a selfie.
Once we got it working, and we got some feedback, then a lot of people said, hey, why don't you do crowdfunding? So it was actually the outside world telling me, look, you probably could crowdfund this. And I'm like, it didn't really, actually, I don't like giving up control.
Yeah.
So, you know, for people who are doing crowdfunding, they have to be willing to say, let go a little bit, you know? You're going to have to for exchange for the crowdfunding money, you're going to have to give away some control. I mean, in general, I learned one thing a long time ago with my business. One of the reasons I've been successful is that you need to, as much as you can, interact with your customers. I mean, it's become so stereotyped, you know, engage the customer and all that kind of crap. But you do, I don't want to engage them by giving them some stupid quiz that they take that we never read. I mean, I engage them by asking them a question on Facebook. Which of these two things do you like better? And then I pick the one that they give me the answer. At some point, I can't choose anymore. They are the customer, so let them choose. So
they're smarter than you about what they want.
That's right. You have
so why should you guess?
That's exactly right. So when I heard everyone saying you should crowdfund this, even though my gut feeling was to say, I said, okay, well let's throw it out there and see how it goes. And,
Nothing to lose. And you've gained almost $80,000 in doing that, and all this publicity and really in your industry now. Now you're a hot shot in the industry because hey, that's the guy who did this.
Yeah, that's true. That is really true. That is when I go around in Switzerland to the Basel World Fair. This last year, it was amazing how many people knew who I was. I couldn't.
To me, crowdfunding, you got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Right, exactly. The worst thing that can happen is you wake up and the thing is closed and you didn't make any money and you learned how to make a video.
But you now have your ukulele on Kickstarter.
That's right.
Sound. I mean, that's a beautiful little. And on your website, bathyhawaii.com. I mean, the ukulele and the images, are they all your photographs too?
No, this is, some of them are and some of them aren't. Most of those photographs are shot by one of the most successful photographers in the United States who asked me, who had one of my watches and said, I'll tell you the story and you can edit this out if you want. He said, if you'll pay for me to come to Hawaii so I can have sex with my wife, and put us up, I'll shoot a campaign for you while I'm there.
Wow.
And his wife is also sometimes his assistant. We were out shooting at this beach, and we picked a day where they were doing like a helicopter drop in the ocean. And I said, we shot all these pictures, and I asked his wife, how much does your husband usually charge to do this? And she's like, about $40,000 a day. So
here, take my house, have sex all you want.
I paid a few thousand to fly them out here and put them up. I got them for 5 days.
Wow.
And so,
but your video you did by yourself, right?
The video I did by myself, and I did a lot of the pictures, and I did my own catalog by myself, and I learned how to do all the video editing for. It's all just done in Mac and just
Yeah,
shot
no,
with
we all
your,
can do it.
everybody has the tools they need to do this. If you have an iPhone and a Macintosh,
Anybody can do it. Give it a
yeah,
try. And to see your work and to see your watch, and if you want one, maybe get in line because you may be coming out with more, right?
right,
So
yeah.
Bathy's Hawaii, Bathys,
Bathys, Bacchus.
right, Bathys. Hawaii, see, I'm never getting it right.
That's
Bathys, Hawaii, and Hawaii, maybe you know how to spell, I don't, HAWAII.com, okay?
That's it.
Go
Here,
there,
look.
see your current watches, and take a look at that atomic watch. Yeah, that's the current one.
Yeah, that's my regular one. Here's the
Right,
atomic
here's
watch
the
right
atomic.
there.
Wow, the government eat your heart out. You're out of business.
Right, 1 second in 1,000 years.
Right.
That's how accurate it is.
Thank you so much, John. Pleasure
Aloha,
to meet
Matthew.
you.
Nice to talk.
Aloha.
Cheers.